Okay, today I wanted to talk about why Tesla is the only publicly traded venture opportunity in the stock market. Now, I also want to cover my Tesla journey, and so I'll lead with that. Just a quick story. I've been invested in Tesla since 2020, a bit after the huge move, but I originally had the idea of investing in Tesla probably 2015, 2016 when it was probably adjusted for all the splits. Right now it would have been like $15 maybe. At that time, I had like $15,000 I was going to invest, and I went to my legendary investing mentor and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" He said, "I think that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard of." So I ended up not doing it. I didn't have the confidence in my intuition and due diligence abilities at the time, so I didn't invest. Now, I ended up doing absolutely nothing with that money. I think I was living a lifestyle way above my means, chasing women, you name it. All that money went down the drain. And come 2020, I started having a little bit more money to invest again, and I started to invest in Palantir and Tesla because I was seeing some of the things that we're doing in the future. Now, I've heard people tell me, it's you can't think about investments you didn't make, but that's not how I think about it. I think about it in terms of how it helped shape my thinking by not making that investment in 2015 or 2016. Seeing that not making that decision taught me that I needed to have a little more conviction in my ability to see the future in certain companies and technologies, but then also go further, do my due diligence, do my research, and make that investment if I see that the opportunity is correct. So that said, I wanted to go into why Tesla is currently the only publicly traded venture opportunity, as well as the only publicly traded humanoid robotics opportunity. So you can see on the screen here, obviously they have their auto division, Model Y, Model 3, Model X, Model S, and soon to be some more affordable models, along with various other models coming down the line. Now that does about 100 billion in revenue right now. Over time, that's going to grow, but it's going to pale in comparison to um, some of their other business lines. Now, another business line that people really underrate and is incredibly important is Tesla Energy. Tesla Energy is growing at a good clip. It's their fastest growing business right now. It's more profitable than cars. I believe it has approximately 30% gross margin. And over time, it has the capacity to be as large as the $100 billion auto business and maybe even more. And you think about why this business is so important. AI requires energy. We don't have enough of it. Tesla Energy is going to help supply the energy needed to both grow the grid as well as stabilize the grid. So I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. You also have Tesla services, so that includes various things with their software and just like routine maintenance with the cars. So there's some growth there too. But the two big heavy hitters are Robotaxi. You can see the beautiful Cybercab in front of us. That's not going to be Robotaxi is not going to be relegated just to Cybercab. This is the thing that people are missing with this business is that they've already scaled their car business where they have millions of hardware for cars on the road that can convert to a robotaxi immediately with a click of a button. Now, Waymo exists. Sure, their business is cool. They're scaling. I think they'll do okay, but I think Tesla's product, their innovation, their differentiated take on how to deploy AI at scale with cameras is going to scale better, and it's going to be cheaper. So they'll be able to kind of determine what the price in the ride hailing market's going to be. So I'm not going to go over financials on this, but if you just do some basic math, I challenge you, get a calculator. Let's say a Tesla robotaxi does 25,000 miles a year at $1 per mile. Just go and do that math for however many millions of cars you think they could do that for. And the final big hitter, and there's obviously more than just Tesla Optimus, but over time, I think Tesla Optimus will be the largest business for Tesla. Hard to say how fast it's going to scale and build out. And I've heard people say that they think this could scale faster than robotaxi, or maybe slower. We don't really know yet, but there are some amazing things going on with humanoid robotics and startups. And Tesla, for the most part, unless you want to talk about Google Appatronics investment, like Tesla Optimus is the only publicly traded option for retail investors like you and me to go invest. And people try to say that it's overvalued, and from like a basic fundamental investing perspective, sure, Tesla is overvalued, but if you're a venture capitalist, like if you put your venture capitalist hat on and you're investing in a startup, you're investing at a PE ratio that is so high, or they don't even have profitability, and you're hoping for that return years down the line. You don't know when you're getting that money back. Now, this is the same thing with Tesla. People don't understand that it's you have multiple startups in Tesla, and they're all scaling. We don't know the exact time frame that these businesses are going to scale out and return cash to the investors. But we do know that Elon and his teams have a track record of delivering tremendous products to the world. And so I think, if anything, like an investment in Tesla, and this is not financial advice, an investment in Tesla is safer than an investment in startups, because they have a track record and they have a balance sheet, like a fortress balance sheet, and people don't talk about that. At $37 billion in cash and 10 or less billion in debt, like they arguably have the best, or one of the best balance sheets in the Max 7. So that aside, Tesla Optimus robot, again, I challenge you to do some math on that. How many robots could they sell? Well, Elon thinks it's going to be billions over time. $30,000 a pop. Do 30,000 times 100 million. Do it times 100, like just 10 million, whatever you want. Play around with that. The numbers are crazy. So, I'll stop harping on an Optimus, but they also have other businesses with their FSG chip, Dojo, and their Dojo systems. So I think people don't talk about those a lot either. They design chips, and they would love to be able to have chips that are on the level of NVIDIA. They may not be able to do that because NVIDIA is solely focused on developing and designing these chips. But what if they could offset their expenses, GPU expenses, by designing a chip that is as good or almost as good as NVIDIA or AMD chips? Or what if they surpass them and then they can start selling their own chips? They're already a great manufacturer. There's all these different things you could start to think about. On top of that, with the compute required for these robotaxis and Optimus robots, what do you do with that compute during these robotaxi and Optimus downtimes? Sure, maybe they're going to be used all the time, but maybe they're not 100% utilized. And so if you look at it from that perspective, could Tesla sell their compute, like cloud compute, like Google Cloud or AWS? Like, could they do that? I think that's a really, quite the possibility there. So you have all of these different businesses that are scaling all at once, that have huge TAMs, that have huge margins, way better than their auto margins. And that is why I believe this is the only publicly traded venture opportunity. And you could even go as far as the only multi-venture opportunity, I think. So I know there's a lot of Tesla YouTubers out there already. But hopefully you found some value with this, and have a great weekend, and look forward to talking to you guys in the future.